my little song. So
it's looking professional.
I'm always missing.
Professional. So hey folks, how's everyone doing? Hopefully we've got a good few on for two really good sessions that we have in store for you tonight. We've got two great speakers coming to you from here in Ireland. So Tushar Kumar, cloud security lead in Ireland, is going to talk to us about Entra Global Secure Access. And then we have Dillon White, who's a senior Microsoft security architect and career coach from North Carolina. And Dillon's going to talk to us about how to develop security with Defenderforcloud. So some really cool sessions coming up, and hopefully everyone's going to learn some nice stuff. So Nick, do you want to just go through, or do you need to go through this? I don't mind.
Yeah, so let's just quickly go through some housekeeping. Let me share my screen. Okay, so this is code of conduct. So all members of this group should abide by this code of conduct. Be friendly and welcoming to everyone. Be patient. Be thoughtful. Be respectful and inclusive. And be open and curious. So always try to understand and not to criticize anything. You briefly touched about this, sorry.
Yeah, we gave the intro. So we've got Tushar and Dillon, as I say. Sorry, we're a little bit, I'm a bit out of touch on these. It's been a couple of months since I've been involved with this. But yeah, as I said, some really great speakers on tonight. And as usual, Nick has lined up a couple of extra new speakers for the next one. Do you want to say who's coming in?
Yeah, so the next event is going to be the 10th of next month. And it's John Anderson is coming on board. So it's going to be slightly different, kind of coming a little earlier, 6:30. And it's going to be doing cloud development with Azure Developer, ACD, and Shipaz Dar, doing the Microsoft Defender clearing the confusion. So keep on a lookout at that next month and 10th.
Brilliant.
So let's just introduce the speakers. So in the first speaker, we'll get Dillon, right? Hello, Dillon.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Good.
Good, thanks.
So hopefully I've set the scene for your session now, Dillon.
Yeah.
Ready to blow us all away.
We'll try our best. I got Shabazz next week, so luckily I didn't have to deal with Rod Trent, who Nick lined me up first with. So no one wants to follow Rod. That's a setup for failure. But no, guys, nice to see you guys. Thanks for the invite, Nick. Kevin, nice to virtually meet you.
Yeah.
Hopefully one day you come to the States. But yeah, I'm excited for this one. It's good.
Awesome. So do you want to share your screen then, Dillon? Are you okay?
Yeah. I mean, if we want to just dive right into it, let's get it.
Yeah.
Let me make sure I don't have any Teams content up and get you all that. But yeah, let's do it. Make sure I throw that.
And Dillon, while you're presenting, myself and Nick will keep an eye on the socials. If there's any questions coming in, do you want us to just flash them up onto the screen for you just so you can answer them, or do you want us to hold them till the end?
Flash them up. Let's do it live.
Okay. You'll see a text. You'll see a text flash up, and you can address it then. Okay.
Great. I'm just present screen. Yeah. Let's see. Bold. We're gonna go with this. All right. Can they see it? I think so. It looks like it's up.
Yeah.
Perfect.
This is the one.
There you
All
go.
right, yep, that's the one. All right, so for those of you that don't know, right, what is Microsoft Defenderforcloud? Microsoft Defenderforcloud is a CNAPP platform for those that are familiar with Gartner buzzwords. And a CNAPP, as Yuri Digenis, the product manager tells me, it is the cloud native application platform protection tool. Right, so for those that are familiar with products like Wiz, Aqua Security, Orca Security, there's probably 1,000 other vendors out there that say they do the same thing. Microsoft did what they usually do, right? Waits for the market to say we probably should create something, they go out and create something. But this is basically a tool that allows us as defenders to protect cloud resources and now even protect on-prem resources and dev tools. So it's a really good product out there in the market. So I'm excited to get into it. Like I said, it's probably one of the few Defender tools I actually still enjoy talking about still to this day. So For those that aren't familiar with it, we're just going to dive into an overview of the dashboard just in general. I was in DevOps, but we'll go through what it shows you. But basically, has a free cloud security posture management tool that's built into it. And there you get what Microsoft knows and everybody knows in the world as secure scores, right? So you can see the secure score for my demo environment, right? So you can see that for this lab environment, I have a secure score of 41%, which is but nothing only in Azure. Any AWS, GCP, you can see the big three clouds that you can connect into it. You can see the different environments I've connected into it and all that good stuff. So along with that, as with any other Microsoft tool, you get governance and recommendations. So it's very good foundational CSPM, and it's free of charge for just the recommendations and the secure score. But then if you want to pay a fee, as with anything Microsoft, you can then get the actual CSPM tool, and it can go in and show you attack paths, all kinds of cool stuff. The stuff that we're going to surface today is paid, right? You need a paid Azure subscription, and it's paid resource that just comes with the ADO non-free tools. So we'll dive into DevOps. Any questions? Nicholas, Kevin, you guys are familiar with DevOps or Defender for Cloud in general?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. But conscious that some of our audience members currently online at the moment and potentially who will be looking back at the recording may not be fully familiar with it. But yeah, I totally all in on Defender for Cloud.
Sweet. Some questions I usually have trouble with are answering are from like other product companies. It's like the Wiz of the world, the Aquas. Like sometimes I get really good questions on that around regulatory compliance and workload protections, but I like to just start at the very beginnings of what's included for free. So diving through it, some things that are different than what you'll see in the Wiz of the world and the other platform providers is that Microsoft for free will include the Microsoft Cloud Security Benchmark. So you can see what amount of controls, you can actually see what those controls are. You can do a drift report too with compliance over time workbooks. Microsoft's got some really good features that they start rolling out right away around drift, and so you can see some stats and see where your tenant is and your different workloads. You can also download the report if you need to provide it or upload it into like a Power BI to make it look fancy, and just give it to people that may not have credentials into Azure. So it's very powerful. You can also see that it's got Azure CSPM preview. Preview just means Microsoft hasn't made it generally available, so they're not charging for it yet. So you can see some different features and rule sets. But let's dive into what we're really here for, which is all about developing securely. I think a lot of us that work in the world of infrastructure as code, work in the world of protecting those, working for MSSPs and the likes. We rarely see customers that take in their GitHub securely right from the beginning, right? So usually we have to walk through how to protect it, how to secure it, and just get developers who aren't used to developing securely just thinking that way, right? So we have to kind of augment their learning and provide them with tools to do so efficiently, right? I think a lot of it is how to ship code faster, right? That's usually what developers are judged on. So as a security team, trying to not put ourselves in their workflow and just augmenting is always crucial. But here we can see that I've connected an Azure DevOps environment, right? So if we go to add environment, you can see we can pretty quickly add in a GitHub. You can add in Azure DevOps and GitLab all very quickly. To add in Azure DevOps, it's very straightforward. Connector, a subscription, you can add it to a resource group that already exists or create new, and then you're going to put it on a location closest to where you are or wherever you host the Azure DevOps subscription. It's very straightforward. I'll give the documents in the chat and in the session, so Nicholas and Kevin can add it where they want, but it literally takes about 20 minutes. There's probably 2 steps that are crucial though to get it to display correctly, and that's over on the Azure DevOps side, and so we'll take a look over there. And so on this side of the world, for those of you that aren't familiar with Azure DevOps is a infrastructure as code platform. It's probably been one of the most widely adopted tools I've seen in the market outside of, for those of you that are familiar with GitHub, has an enterprise level 2, but Azure DevOps integrates natively with tools like Microsoft Entra, It has just some other advanced feature tools that come natively. You don't have to pay the advanced enterprise price in GitHub for. So to get Azure DevOps and Azure and Microsoft Defender for Cloud to work, there's really two core settings you have to configure right away, which is in the project settings. And you're going to go make sure that you have a security setting turned on. Oh, sorry, not project. So I haven't done you code live organization settings. And you're going to go to security and go to the overview. Make sure you can see risk and coverage. Once you do that, you make sure you have the right permissions. You go to third-party application access. This is normally toggled off. It's off by default. You have to toggle that on. So once you turn it on, you do have to be aware that then you can push third-party applications in. So it's just something that you probably should manage and monitor inside Defender for Cloud. So there might be something I post later on that once I get to work. I just couldn't get it to work for this session tonight, unfortunately. So going back into our actual project itself, we're going to show you the settings, which makes it all possible. So inside of here, we have what are called extensions, and we're going to monitor them. So inside here, we got really 3 extensions, inside of which we can add these into your pipelines to scan and monitor your infrastructure code and make sure it's actually launched securely. So those 3 extensions are the Defender for DevOps container mapping, security DevOps, and Seraph SaaS scans. So Seraph SaaS scans includes a bunch of free and open source tools such as TerraScan, which allows you to scan for infrastructures as code vulnerabilities, secrets, and a few other widely available vulnerabilities. But all 3 of those are there, so we're good to go. And then we can just launch and see what we can do. Let's see if we can build a secret. Maybe I can get one to load. And it didn't push. So we're going to fix this line. I tried to push a secret right before I joined the backstage, and it didn't work. So let's just add one in public. While I do that, Nicholas or Kevin, are there any questions? I don't know if anybody's joined. I run this like my own YouTube live.
No, all good. No question yet.
All right, cool. All right, let's see if it lets me. All right, so I'm going to create a new repository. Yeah, you just click at the top of your files, and there's a little repository button. You can do a new repository. I'm just going to call it Defender. Everyone needs a name for cloud test. And I add a README, so it's initialized. For those of you that aren't familiar with infrastructure as code, sorry, I'm not going into it right now. So I'll just build this live. Let's see, looks fine. Okay. So then I'll just do a pipeline based off of this and create a starter pipeline. And I'll delete all this. And so you can see I have a public secret display name, but I'm also going to create a new task. And in here, you're just going to search for Defender, or maybe not. Azure. Maybe. There we go. So if you search dev, it will come up because the security DevOps extension command is going to be a run configure. I usually leave it blank. You don't have to put anything in there. Policy. I do whatever I have for Azure DevOps categories. What do I want to run for categories? Let's see. I'm going to do IAC and secrets and see if secrets should populate it some errors for us, but we'll see. So we'll do IAC, secrets. And when you put it into the GUI, it automatically populates it in the right format for you. So then you populate Terrascan. That's the tool it's going to use to actually scan for the infrastructure as code and the secrets. And so you can add the task. You can see it's add the settings for the Microsoft Security DevOps tool with inputs running the command, infrastructure code, secrets, tools, Terrascan. So what I'm looking for with this DevOps is I'm looking to make sure it actually catches that I'm putting in a super secret password into a plain text file. Let's see if Defenderforcloud does this job. And always publish main. You always want to break your production in. Make sure you do that. And it failed. Let's see why. Parallelism. So why is it trying to run on my non? Delete. Defender. Let's try this one more time. Let's run it in a different one. Okay. We're going to once again add the Defenderforcloud to run. Same policy as before. And let's begin. Let's see. There we go. Looks good now. Sweet, there we go. All right, so once you know parallelism, I feel like fixing this live, but I guess we're gonna fix it live.
Live demos are always the best, Dillon. Don't worry about it.
Oh no, they're always the best. I know what you have to do to fix it. I'm just really, really lazy. I didn't want to have to fix it on my demo lab. But it's what you get when you are using Microsoft credits and not using your credit card.
Yep, in there. Wore the t-shirt.
All right. In recognition of time, we're not going to fix this live. But if anybody wants to see it, I'll be sure to link it to Nicholas. But we're going to walk through what else you can do because I'm not going to try to fix it live. But anyway, right, so if that would have worked, what we would have seen populate is the secret findings should go up to 1 It also should find the infrastructure as code findings. So it will find it right away if it actually works and you pay for it. And it'll find it right away in the pipeline run, but it usually takes about anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes to populate into the Defender4Cloud actual dashboard. And what you can do from there, right, is we can actually take those alerts and settings and push them into a SIEM tool like Microsoft Sentinel, but also inside of Defender4Cloud, what we can do right away to secure it. Effectively, some things I want to talk about was just having some standard security. So you'll see that all of my organization, my project, and my repo are all giving me an alert around the advanced security status, right? So it's all turned off. So let's go fix that since that's something I can fix. So to do that, you're just going to go back to your initial project and you're going to go to project settings, and under where was it? Oh, it's another org setting. It's under security and policies. And where is advanced security? Why do I not see it now? Maybe I was in the right spot. Project settings. Maybe. What you said. Now it's gonna make me check actual live.
So Dillon, so what this is essentially doing, it's giving you an option, a straightforward option, and a link into Defender4Cloud to basically lint your code, right? So if you have a non-developer brain like me, and you're writing a bunch of code, and you inadvertently or lazily put in like a plain text username or password, or you put in like, hey, open port 3389. This has the smarts to analyze your code, let you know that, hey, look, this is not a good idea, or this is not, it's breaching your policy, and that's captured. And although the linting is certainly not a new technology, and there's plenty of open source linters that you can apply into Azure DevOps, I think what you're trying to show is the secret sauce here is that connectivity and integration into Defender4Cloud, and then ultimately into Sentinel, if you've got your Sentinel linked into your log analytics workspace as well. Would that be a fair kind of analysis of the scenario that we're trying to demonstrate here?
Yeah, 1,000%. And so for the advanced security, for those that are going to go try to find on a paid subscription, I'll show you what it looks like real quick, but you just go into your org. But you're absolutely right. So just go into your project settings, and I just saw it somewhere. But you're absolutely right, because I was going to put it into, it goes into Sentinel and it makes the whole circle actually move. So you, as a developer, don't have to watch it anymore. And that is the golden rule. You don't want to have to watch it. Over your shoulder.
Or even sorry for just like, as a developer, you don't have to watch it, and that's a benefit. But maybe from a security officer's perspective or a cloud administrator's perspective, who are not developers, at least you or your organization have that warm, fuzzy feeling that, you know what, we've got our developers who are really smart folks, but they can go and do their job. And if somebody, or maybe a new hire comes in, or maybe like a graduate comes in and does something, we know that we've got the tooling now that's going to surface that up, and we don't have to, for example, get really hands-on with, I don't know, open source stuff like White Source Bolt, or I don't know, GitHub Super Linters, and all this stuff that is still nearly alien to me as a non-dev, right? But if we integrate it in here, then it takes that thinking away, not just for the developers. So that's probably the 360 scenario that's attractive for customers using Defender4Cloud for this as well, right?
100%. Yeah, Kevin, that's exactly the lane that you try to swim in, especially for me, that's seeing the different like ransomware attacks or just people that do silly things and leave, S3 buckets completely open to the web. Azure storage completely open to the web. That's where Defender for Cloud comes in, and it's really handy.
Awesome. There's no questions coming in from anyone else yet. So, Nick, you're looking at some of the other stuff.
Let's not forget Defenderforcloud also support GitHub if you want to integrate it with your GitHub repo as well. So you can search for your GitHub repo for security as long as ADO as well.
Exactly. In essence, the time I'm gonna save time because I know we got somebody else ready to speak backstage. So Tushar's itching to go talk about something that's about to go GA very soon.
Yeah, he is. So, is you're happy enough then with the demo, Dylan? Is there anything else you want to show, or was that the secret sauce really that a lot of folks don't really know about? It's that integration of Defender for Cloud into your Azure DevOps, or as Nick said, into your GitHub, to bring that kind of full 360 security view in. So.
1,000%. It's just about really surfacing alerts and making the actual dev's job easier, right? The more we can help them, the better, right? Because at the end of the day, developers don't develop securely by nature.
Yeah, 100%. Well, developers just need to get on with their own job, right? Yeah. They just want to code, right? And out of a team of 10 developers, you probably have 9 of them that will do the job exactly as you expect. They might have different processes, but they'll do it as you expect. But maybe 1 out of 10 or whatever the number is won't, and they won't be doing it intentionally, but they'll code something inadvertently. Or often what I see is developers coding, and then they start getting involved in maybe doing some DevOps for Azure landing zones, and then they start, oh, I'm going to create this VNet, I'm going to create this subnet. Oh, it's a firewall policy here. What network and architecture knowledge have you got? It's dangerous stuff, right? So if you're playing with that, you need something that's looking at it collectively. It's not going to remove the requirement for your security admin or your security kind of officer, but it gives that extra layer. And as you said, then once you integrate it into Sentinel, then you can alert on it as well, and you can throw it up in dashboards, and you can do all that fun stuff with your SIEM, which I think makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, if I had one story to all developers, it would be make sure you keep your secrets away from your local computer.
That sounds like there's a story with a bit of experience behind that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe a lost computer at a
That's for another day.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Okay.
But look, we've no other questions coming in, Dillon, and I know you're stuck for time, and really appreciate you dialing in from North Carolina. It's been great, and I can just say I've actually got a bit of sun over here in Ireland at the moment. And your colleague Ian pinged me a few minutes ago to say that he's from Ireland originally. He's on Ian Hanley, and we're here in Ireland with a bit of sun, but you guys get that all the time, right? So it's
a little bit, yeah.
The only difference is we don't have air conditioning much over here. It's not enough, I think.
Brutal, I know. The UK is brutal.
It's toasty. So, but it's all good. Dillon, we hope you enjoyed your time on the stream. And if there are any questions, I know you got to jump off, but if there are any questions, would you mind if we forward them to you, and then 100%. we can make sure that folks then get an answer over the next few days. Whatever, we'll stick it up on socials, and we'll just attach it to the comments and video as well.
Yeah, I'm part of the group, so just throw them in the group.
Yeah. Awesome. No worries. Thanks for joining, Gillian.
Thanks, Nick.
Let's introduce Tushar.
Enjoy your day.
Tushar.
Oh.
Hi, Tushar.
Hey, Nick. Hey, Kevin.
Last but not least.
Yeah, amazing stuff about Defenderforcloud. And definitely, I'm not going to mention it even a single time in this my session.
Well, we're not doing Copilot bingo, are we? Like we're Defender's okay now. Last year it was Defender bingo. How many times can people mention the word Defender? But I think at just about every session these days now, it's Copilot something. So I think we're.
And if you've watched a very recent conference, I don't know if Nick wants to mention that or not, but they had a count like how many times AI is mentioned on the overall.
Yeah.
So it was really nice. Yeah. Okay.
Awesome. So you want to share your screen, Tushar, on kickoff? Or?
Definitely. just a FYI, my Wi-Fi is giving me a little bit of trouble. So if I get
No
choppy,
worries.
just let me know. I'll switch off my camera and just be on screen share.
Will do.
Okay, let
Yeah.
me just give it a try here.
And Tushar, while you're doing that, same question to you that I asked Dillon. Do you, if there's questions coming in on any of the socials, do you want us to just flash them up and you can answer them when you get a chance, or do you want to just keep them till the end? It's up to you.
You can flash the questions. That's no
Okay.
problem at all.
If you're in the zone and you're flying away, to just keep going, and we can address it then later. The questions
Yeah.
still stay there. So.
And Nick has promised me I have as much time as I want, so I'm good with
Yeah.
that. Perfect.
Perfect.
Okay, hopefully,
There we go. The stage is yours.
Yep.
You can see my screen.
All good. Perfect.
Perfect. Yep. So, a very good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone. If you're joining in from different time zones, we are going to talk about today Entra Global Secure Access. Okay, this is a new thing coming in, and we are hearing a lot about it. There is a lot of unknowns. There is a lot of knowns about it, and it's an amazing solution that came out quite recently. It's still in preview, so whatever I'm going to talk today might or might not change, but the experience and the concept is going to remain the same. So without any further ado, I'll just introduce a quick introduction of myself. My name is Tushar Kumar. I'm Cloud Security Lead working for Codec Ireland. I am a Microsoft MVP around networking and security. This is the QR code. You can scan this. You can get all my details. It will take you to my blog where I have all the things posted. And you can see my previous sessions as well there. Okay, so without doing anything, we'll get into the meat of this session. Okay, so everyone is familiar with the VPN solution, right? VPN has been there for really long, and for those who thinks DALI can't spell, DALI can. No, I just realized. So this is an AI generated image, and we are talking about VPN dying. And then it sounds a bit harsh, but I'll tell you the reason in coming slides. Okay, so what we have all used VPN at some point of time. The basic of our VPN and the basic of networks within our environments, like what we use day in and day out, right, is based on making sure there is a parameter layer and you have a parameter and you're trusting everything within that parameter. If you're out of that parameter, which is your office network, you are connecting it with VPN, and then you are saying, okay, that is trusted now. Now we are living in a world of zero trust access. Okay, so when we came in with zero trust and every zero trust started picking up a lot, we started seeing a lot of issues and a lot of, I'll say, challenges with the VPN. Okay, first thing is you will not be able to granularize. You will not be able to have a proper visibility on the payloads going in and out of your VPN connections. So your network, when you're connecting it from remotely, even when you're connecting it within your network, what you have is you have a limited visibility. You cannot go granular in terms of access. You have a dependency on a centralized infrastructure. Okay, there is a lot of issues around. I have seen people, my VPN device is deployed and it's like a small VPN device. We don't have that much of a performance, like that much of resources allocated to that. So that's the reason we are getting slow speed. We are getting timeouts with the VPNs and all those things. Okay, also you need to make sure your compliance is intact. And with the rise of AI, as we said, there's tons and tons of AIs coming in, and we are looking at, even that's great, we are looking at how we can deal with our data more smartly, with the more intelligent applications. And as well as your attackers are getting intelligent as well. They can easily bring data. Like basically they can easily ingest data with the help of AI, and they can easily write a query that can give them a full view of how to do a brute force attack and how to do a man in the middle attack, and they get a full guide out of it. So with all of those consideration, what we are looking at is VPN is not going to satisfy all of our requirements. Okay, so what's next then? Okay, this is not something, a new concept that has came in with Microsoft, or I'll say even within Microsoft, it is not a new concept. It was there for a quite limited things, but it is now evolving. So we have always seen the likes of Zscaler and all providing solutions around this, which is secure service edge solution. So secure service edge is nothing but SASE. When you see SASE is when you remove the SD-WAN, the access piece of out of it, is that becomes the SSE. So SSE is secure service edge, it's called. It's basically a combination of zero trust network access, CASB, and secure web gateway. Okay, don't worry about these acronyms coming in, and we'll talk about those in details, what exactly is or are those. Okay, so if you look at the scenario on the right hand side of it, right, so the whole security service edge model, the way it works is anything that is on premises private cloud, you are looking at going with. And when I say on premises private cloud, I'm talking about the deployments that you have even on clouds, which is like a IaaS kind of deployment. You have all the infrastructure, virtual machines sitting there. No, it's not a PaaS kind of solution. Okay, you're covering that with the ZTNA. Any sort of public cloud or SaaS application, you're public. And when I say public cloud, that's basically where I'm talking about the PaaS applications as well. That is being covered by our CASB, which is your security broker there. And when we are talking about anything going out of the internet, that's basically is going to be covered by your secure web gateway. Okay, so and we have heard a lot about managed devices, unmanaged devices. When a lot of things with Intune came in, and people started talking about we should be having compliant devices, we should be having compliant networks, we should be having proper security controls on the devices. We are not going to talk about those, but that has been there. You have been implementing all of those in previous years, making sure you have all the devices within your Intune compliant, you have proper policies enforced onto that and everything. On top of that, what we are going to look at is the SSE solution. What SSE solution provides you a better security posture in terms of latency. You get better latency around that, as well as what you are getting is a managed infrastructure around your whole ZTNA solution. And if I just see the Gartner latest update, right? So the Gartner is predicting by 2025, almost 70% of new remote access deployment will be done through the ZTNA as opposed to the VPN. Okay, which was, I believe, less than 10% end of 2021. So this is going to be a big thing. This is going to be coming to your way quite in a very near future. So let's have a quick look at SSE and VPN. Okay, what exactly is that? What we are looking at in terms of different areas. So the best fit for VPN, I'm not saying it's going to be totally eliminated, right? So for best fit for VPN is going to be smaller networks, or you have like a very specific legacy infrastructure that requires some sort of, I don't know, but some sort of configuration that you want. Same if you look at the SSE solution, that's going to be if you have distributed workforce working different places, cloud-based, you have cloud-based apps, you have legacy apps, I'll say as well. In those cases, the SSE solution will come into picture. From the security standpoint, basically what you're getting is, first thing, cloud native. You're getting zero trust with SSE. With VPN, you have to rely on the policies. You have to make sure there is a parameter, you're connecting to that parameter. If you're in there, you are secure. So basically, once you are connecting, let's say I am an employee, I am connecting to my VPN. Once I'm connected to my network, basically I'm a trusted person. And that it doesn't matter if my device is stolen or anything like that, but still, if I connect to any network, I'll be considered as a trusted user in that network. And that basically breaks the concept of zero trust. It should be verified explicitly at the time you are accessing anything. Okay, I'll not go into each and every one of these, but cost models are also changing. I will not say it's going to reduce your cost a huge way or it's going to bump your cost a huge way, but you're getting into, with the cloud-based services, we are getting into more of a pay-as-you-go model. And instead of going with buying a hardware device, putting it a Palo Alto appliance, and then giving access, those kind of scenarios. Okay, from the user experience perspective, definitely the VPN, I will say the VPN relies on your device configuration. That's where you might see a slower speed. I will not say it's a huge difference, but it totally depends on what configuration you have on your VPN device and how capable your VPN device is, and based on that you get your experience. And opposed to that, the SSE, and I'll not say only Microsoft, but any SSE provider, basically they rely on their edge networks, and based on their edge network, you are going to get the low latency, and it is going to be lower what we have seen so far. So now getting into the Microsoft world, everyone knows our good old Azure AD, now renamed to Microsoft Entra. And with Microsoft Entra, we are seeing a lot of new products as well coming in. Our Entra ID, identity governance, Entra external ID, verified ID, permission management, all of those has came in. But what we are going to focus on is on the right-hand side of this, which is Microsoft Entra Internet Access and Entra Private Access. Okay, both of them together is called Global Secure Access at this point of time, which might or might not change once it comes into GA. But it is, both of the services are currently in public preview, so you can go in and switch on and try it out in your tenant as well. So what exactly is this? Let's talk about first the Entra Internet Access. Okay, so when we look at Entra Internet Access, again, it follows the zero trust principles. What we are looking at is all the identities, your endpoint, your remote network that gets feed into it. So whenever you are accessing anything on your internet, so from your device going anything out to the internet, being it YouTube, being it any Twitter, LinkedIn kind of applications, or being it to your M365 apps, you have a conditional access layer on top of it. You have continuous access evaluation. So continuous access evaluation, if you see, there is continuous access evaluation is something Microsoft has been rolling out for different products, likes of Teams, likes of Outlook and other products. You can just search for it and you'll see the coverage of that. One of the products that is being covered by continuous access evaluation is Global Secure Access as well. That basically gives you flexibility in terms of making sure that if there is any change in the environment, if there is any token that is there and it is trying to be replayed, those kind of scenarios should not happen within your environment. So that's the whole point of continuous access evaluation, in terms of making sure if the token is still alive and meanwhile your account has been disabled, those kind of scenario, still you lose the access. The people cannot access at that point of time. Okay, and as part of that, you get dedicated tunnels to the specific apps. You are going directly to that. So what you're getting as part of Entra Internet Access is enhanced visibility and security, which is basically, I'll show it in the demo as well, what exactly you're getting. So if I'm trying to access google.com, it was go to google.com. I will have a log and I will have a traceability of that. If my organization, if I want to stop that will basically be stopped. If I don't want people visiting Google, I just want people going bing.com, they will only be able to go to bing.com. And that will be basically associated with your identity itself. No matter where you are logging in and what system you are logging in, it will go with you. The reason being, it is tied up with your identity. and it is going the way it is going, it will be blocked based on your identity. Okay, that's Entra Internet Access. That's the same concept goes on the M365 apps as well. The good thing, and we are going to spend more time in today's session about Entra Private Access. Okay, Entra Private Access follows the same scenario, follows the same principles over here. So we, on the left hand side, what we are looking at is all the evaluation of user identity, the network, and everything. And with this, what we are saying is dedicated tunnels to all your resources. And I'll say these are your legacy resources, which is like web apps, your RDP, your SMBM file shares, your ERPs, your printers, those kind of things, what you want to access. So these ones, if you want to access these basically, and if I take example of SMB and FTP kind of applications, right? So whenever you try to access a SMB, it's like it's considered legacy. So it's following all the protocols. You cannot enforce MFA on top of that. It's more of a any of the on-premises resources, right? You cannot force MFA unless you go with a lot of hoo-ha of changing the code. So you don't want to change the code. You still want to enforce the MFA. You want to give people access to these, and you want to make sure that it is secure access based on the zero trust. So Entra Private Access basically gives you a solution that can help you in connecting to all those resources, and as well as putting an identity centric approach on top of that. So when I say identity centric approach, every time you access anything, likes of your web apps, your internal, your on-premises RDP or SMB or whatever you have configured on specific ports, it will basically ask you for specifics around, okay, tell me, authenticate with your Entra ID account, do the MFA. Based on your configuration, it will pop the specific message. And the best thing about is it is all being married up with Entra conditional access. So we have been using Entra conditional access from really long, from Azure AD times as well. We are looking at Azure AD conditional access. So now conditional access has been there for really long. We know all the ins and out of it, how we set up compliant devices, how we set up non-compliant devices, what to do with when we want to grant and when we don't want to grant. So we know all the ins and out of that now. So all of that, what you can do is you can apply when people are accessing all of these apps from here. So basically, if the device is not compliant, you are not giving access to the SMB shares, which is in VPN era. If you have the VPN client, you just connect to the VPN and you're good to go. You can connect to the SMB share. You can RDP to any of the machine. But if your device has installed some unsanctioned application, it is marked as non-compliant in Intune, and what you're saying, then your conditional access will evaluate that. It will say, oh, this guy is not compliant. You're not allowed to log in. It will go in there. Okay, so that's more of that. The good thing about this is you can deploy this in parallel with your existing SSEs, and there is a lot of people who has already done some sort of investment within the SSE solution. The best place to try this out will be for M365 app, because the existing SSE solutions doesn't give you a full view of the M365 environment, and we have seen a lot of challenges as well around M365 environment taking a full view of that. So start with this M365, and I'll show you how we can do that. And you can go basically, and then you can expand it as you wish around that. The best thing is anything apart from this is unknown at this point of time, but M365 apps access, it's basically Entra Internet Access for M365 apps. It's included under the P1. That's what is published so far. Okay, now let's talk about getting started. Okay, so on the getting started piece, we'll say first thing is, and I have been asked so many times, what is going to be the connectivity methods? So is there a client available for Windows? So if you have the plans from Microsoft side is for the Windows is to embed it with your Defender experience. So the likes of the way Defender now is pre-built within your Windows 11 platform, Windows 10, I guess, specific builds. Same way, the global secure client will also be embedded within that, and it is same for the Android as well. So you can go to the Defender. The Defender client will hold the same global secure access as well. It is available for your iOS and Mac OS all. So you have a couple of early access here. You need to get early access if you want to try those out. And just to keep in mind, the whole service is in preview at this point, public preview at this point of time, and soon to go GA. So that's the reason we have a couple of things that you will see coming soon, or you will see get early access kind of thing. Just fill out a form, get the access, give your feedback. That will be that will actually help to save the product as well. In terms of the second option to connect, it's basically connecting to the whole remote network. So this is basically, we are talking about your organizational network. So remember, I talked about whether you are in office or you are working from outside. It's basically giving you both the flexibility, people working remotely and as well as in office, making sure you're not trusting the whole network itself. You are making sure everything is verified explicitly. So within the global secure access, there is 3 kinds of profile that you get. Okay, first one being is your M365 access profile, and third one being the internet access profile. The internet access profile, M365 access profile, is basically a subset of internet access profiles, what we are looking at. And you can do all your, and based on these profiles, right, basically you do all the configurations around what exactly you want to configure in your internet access, what you want to configure within your private access. We'll see that in the demo as well. From the roles and permissions perspective, you need to, there is a specific role, global secure administrator or global administrator can do that for this specific. Also, from roles and from in terms of viewing the logs and everything, it's your usual global readers, global security administrator, security readers sort of roles will have permissions to see and review all the logs and everything. Okay. Anything related to like from the prerequisite perspective, the way it works is all you need is a connector to be deployed within your environment, within your private network. So basically what we are talking about, if you have worked with Azure AD App Proxy, it works on the same formula, I'll say, where you have a connector deployed within your private network, and that connector will be responsible for taking any requests and passing it on to the specific of servers. And we'll see that in coming slides in our demo as well. Now, a couple of security use cases we'll talk about before jumping into the demo. So first use case that is going to be protecting your data from any data exfiltration. So if you want to stop someone from uploading data to unmanaged Microsoft tenants, you can do a tenant restriction policy. So within internet access, you can put in a tenant restriction policy, and you will not be, even if it is just office.com, you can go to office.com, but you will not be able to log in with a different tenant's email ID from the one that your organization allows. So your office.com will only work for your XYZ tenant. Okay, that's the first use case. The second use case is providing private access, and we are going to see that in action as well. I'll just skip that. Third one is more of, I'll say, web content filtering as well. So you can specifically allow users or deny users for a specific categories. You can put in the custom rules as well, but likes of any streaming any streaming websites, you will not be able to access those kind of things, or making sure anyone should not have access to TikTok or YouTube or Facebook kind of scenarios. So you can block that as well. You can do that with Defender for endpoint as well. But if you don't have Defender for endpoint, web content filtering is here as well. It's on another layer. You can do that. compliant network checks. This is basically, and some of you might have already seen what is this new thing popping up in your conditional access policies. So when you create a conditional access policy, you can actually check what exactly is if the network is compliant or not, if it is within your defined ranges or not, those kind of scenarios. And if you see the small message over here, is it's basically with the new global secure access feature, you can check all compliant networks kind of things. Okay, this is one of unique value propositions from this global internet access. Basically, internet access is it restores your source IP. So at any point of time, if you're going in and you're seeing, okay, this is something happened and I need to check where exactly the request is coming from, you can actually see where what was the source IP of that. In usual scenario with the SSE solutions, you need to go in and you need to do a reverse engineering from the SSE logs to see what exactly it was the source IP. Okay, so now it's time for me to shut up and show a quick demo. Okay, so first thing first, I will jump into this guy. Where is that? That's the continuous access evaluation I was talking about. So I have a machine. What we are going to see today is I have a simulated on-premises environment, because I don't have servers and racks sitting in my house today. So I have a simulated on-premises environment, or you can say a proper IaaS environment, wherein I have this web and file server. And what we are going to do is we are going to set up Entra private access to make sure we can access from this. Oh, sorry. I have a cloud PC set up as well. This is a Windows 365 PC sitting in cloud somewhere. This PC have access to my web app, which is private web app, and as well as RDP access to that virtual machine without having a VPN connection. Okay. So all we need to do here is, before we get started, I will just go in here. I will go in here and I'll search for, I'll go for portal.azure.com and I'll go in here. Oh, my bad. Okay, so everyone is aware of this Entra Admin Center, right? So now from I believe I can assume now it was quite new. I believe 8-9 months back, people used to ask me what exactly is this, but now I believe at some point of time you have seen this portal Entra Admin Center. There is new button that has popped here, which is Global Secure Access, and it makes sure you understand this is in preview. Within this, when you go in within get started, right, and this is a different tenant totally itself, it's a new tenant and I haven't done anything with it, and that's going to be your experience when you go in and see. So first thing is going to be get started. You need to click on that. If you have available license, which is minimum you need M365 E3 or any license which is in Microsoft Entra ID P1, it will allow you to activate it. You can then activate it, will get activated on your tenant. So that's basically the first step when you go in and you activate the overall stuff. Now I'll go into a tenant where I have it activated here. So once you have activated it, the thing is it will go away. It will start looking at the get started will looking like this. You will have two beautiful documentations that you can follow to do anything. So in our scenario, what we are going to do is we are going to connect this cloud PC, and we want to make sure we have access to this web and file server with this 10.0.0.4 IP address. Okay, so all we need to do is, first thing is we need to set up connectors. Okay, so when you go in connectors, basically it is nothing but an agent. The best practice recommendation is you have a separate virtual machine running in your environment. You have it somewhere isolated running in your environment, and then you can just go in here, download the connector service. Once you have downloaded this, all you need, it's a very lightweight setup. You need to run that lightweight setup on a Windows machine, operating system 22R2 or above. All it needs in terms of network is, if you see in here, the best thing, and which is what your security team is going to love, is it only requires outbound connection. So you don't need any inbound connection configured on this. It basically works on whole outbound connection. So you just need to open a couple of outbound. It should be here somewhere. I can probably drop that link. So all you need to do is you need to open outbound connectivity from your virtual machine hosting this connector service to Entra. So basically, based on that, it will make sure, okay, this is there. The second best practice recommendation will be to deploy this in a pair, just so you have a high availability configured into it, right, and you are not losing your connection at any point of time. Okay. Once you have your connector deployed, it will start looking like this. So I have given it something similar name. Once you have this deployed, all you need to do is you need to create an enterprise application. Okay. So within Global Secure Access, you'll get that option to do it. An enterprise application is, if you are thinking from Entra ID perspective, it is the same thing. So you're creating an app which is going to interact to the application, to the Entra ID on behalf of you. It's the same as your app registration. Okay. So, and the reason why I have it here, because you can see it's basically only Global Secure Access applications. If I remove this, I will see all the different applications within this tenant as well. So if you look into this, you have all the options within this. You can see, you can set it up the same way as you used to do for your usual application. The security piece around conditional access is going to be the key. Okay, so whatever application that you are going to create, it's basically whatever application you are going to expose, it's going to be basically relying on this conditional access. So in this case, what I have is created is this is called a GSA.-GA. So this is my conditional access policy, which is going to govern my access to that particular virtual machine over RDP, over HTTP connection. Okay, so on the specific user, I have just included my user, which I'm going to use just so I don't lock out the whole organization. I have a specific RDP to test. That's the enterprise application that we talked about. I am just targeting that one. And within network, just because I don't have any network defined, but I can actually choose all the trusted networks, and I can choose specific locations as well. In terms of granting access, what I'm saying is, yes, grant access to this guy, to this application, but require multi-factor authentication. So if I have to access with this, I have to make sure I have to do multi-factor authentication. What I have done separately here, just so it comes up in the demo, it doesn't like take my previous session, or it says you're safe and it lets me in. I have done sign-in frequency every time. So basically, my session will be every time I sign in, my session will be refreshed, and it will check for MFA. It will check for the CA. Okay, so that's all of my conditional access. Once I have that conditional access defined, all I need to do is the private access profile to be enabled. And if you see, there is one thing called quick access here. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I thought it will bring me here, but come on. I will try one more time. It's okay here. So the network access property is here, right? It should be coming up in the quick access as well, but for some reason it is not. But in the network access properties, what you can do is you can put in an specifics of what exactly you want to do. In in my scenario, what I have done, I have created only one, and I believe my PIM has expired. That's the reason I'm not getting all the access. But any which way. So the destination, what we are looking at is just an IP address. What you can do is you can do a FQDN. The global secure access is capable of doing the SRV queries and getting your name resolutions done. So you can put in the FQDNs, you can put in an IP range as well, or you can put in an basically an IP address as well. So it's basically your CIDRs like /24, or you can put in 10.0.0.0 /2 10.0.0/150 or something like that. I have just targeted it for three things here: 3389, which is RDP, 80, which is HTTPS, and 445, which is we are talking about SMB access. So all of these three is going to be allowed for only one user, which we have defined in the conditional access. And now what we are doing is we have that global secure access client installed in this. So sorry, we saw the client here, client download. So we saw the clients here. We have seen this in the slides as well. So we have all these clients. All you need to do is download this client. It's a very lightweight, again, 138 MB setup. All you need to do is install. Once you have installed that, it will ask you to log in. Now that I have logged in here and it is installed on my cloud PC, what I need to do here is I'll just quickly go in command prompt and show you that I am not bluffing here. It's just if I do an ipconfig /all. So I have only one gateway. There is no VPN connected here. And now if I go in here, if I type mstsc, that's remote desktop connection. That's the IP that I showed you earlier. So if I go in again, this guy. So this is my virtual machine. That's my IP 10.0.0.4. And if I go in here and I type 10.0.0.4 and click connect, it will initiate the remote desktop connection. Now, just because I have logged in before, it is asking me to pick an account. This is the account connected with Windows. It is asking me to do this. Now, this always happens during any demo. That's the same password I typed. I'll just quickly grab my phone from here. So I need to do an MFA with authentication request here. And that's done. And hopefully the reason behind this is if I go in here, go in this guy, and refresh this, I have an auto stop on this machine. So here I am. So now I am inside that virtual machine. Just to confirm, this machine is 10.0.0.4 and I still don't have any VPN connected here. And if you want to see the logs where exactly it is going, you can go in here in your global secure access client and you can run the traffic analysis just to see what exactly is happening. And also you can see what all you are allowed to go to. So here you can see the policy allows to 3389.80.445. The same way, the global secure access client is authenticated now and there is nothing changed. It's the same network. It's just been 5 seconds around here. If I try 10.0.4, it will take me here. Now, if I just do a force login as different user, so it will log me out from there. And if I go in here, a new in private window, and if I type it 10.0.0.4, this is my internal, let's say, website. If I try to go in here, it will pop me for logging in. Okay, once I log into this again, just because I first logged out, once I have logged in, now it is taking me to that website. So now that's my internal website, which had no feature to go with the MFA functionality. That was my internal RDP, which had no functionality to support RDP, support MFA there. Now that is protected with MFA, and any user connecting to that based on their user persona, they will be able to access that. That way you will be able to segment, you will be able to restrict specific policies, making sure you have let's say your finance application is going through 5 different checks and your normal SharePoint site is going just one step of authentication. Okay, so the authentication strengths can be defined based on your conditional access. You can create separate enterprise applications for separate applications or separate segments that you want to create. And this way, you are just allowing them access to specific application, specific RDP, not to the whole network, like you're connected to your VPN and you're ready to go. Okay, with that, that was all from my side. Thank you so much. Not sure if I'm still connected.
Yeah.
Tushar, yeah, you are. That was really great. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks. Quite learn a bit from that. I didn't know you can connect it through the global access.
Yeah, I guess there is no questions so far.
No, we've just had a quick look over all the socials, Tushar, and you explained it so well. There's no need for any questions.
Oh yeah, I take that credit. I'll happily take that credit.
No, like, sometimes we get some requests for questions after, or maybe if people are watching it back on the video, they might drop a question. So we'll just ping it to you if that's all right, and we'll just try and update the comments on any of the recordings.
Yeah, no problem at all. This being a really new service, right? There is a lot of unknowns and there's a lot of questions. I am getting like left and right and center all the questions from different people, and even in community what I'm seeing. So feel free to reach out to me. You have my socials, and you feel free to reach out Nicholas and Kevin for any support. Thank you so much.
Will do. Brilliant, Tushar. Thanks so much. And with that, Nick, I think we'll wrap it up now.
Yeah, sure. Let me just play a little video and then we'll wrap up for the event.
That was 2 quick sneak peeks.
Sorry, did I play? Sorry. Thank you.
Lovely.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. Cheers.